speaker this morning, who's going to take us the rest of the way here, is a fun, entertaining speaker. His name is Jack Hirsch, and he's a motivational speaker and a hypnotist. He's the author of the book, Planting Seeds of Change, Growing Health, Wealth, and Happiness from the Inside Out. As a certified clinical hypnotherapist, Jack is an expert in the power of the mind and how people can utilize their subconscious to reach their most important personal and business goals. Jack's mission is to help others make real and permanent changes in their lives and careers. He does this by teaching others how to take control of their most important thought patterns to unlock their true potential and bring them closer to success. Two important beliefs guide his career and interactive presentation design. The first is that each of us is stronger and more resilient than we know. And the second is that people tend to learn faster and hold the knowledge they gain when having fun and getting tips they can use along the way. I want to thank Jack for making the trip here today. Where are you, Jack?
Right here.
All right. Give us a nice specific advice.
Apparently, I'm pretty good at clearing out a room, too, so. That's right. As you heard, my name is Jack Hirsch, and I'm a motivational hypnotist, and I'll explain a little bit more about what that means in a few minutes. I'm not as grounded as your previous speakers. I like to use the stage. I'm going to be pacing around a lot. I like to make eye contact with people, so you just have to keep up with me a little bit. My presentation is basically about getting and staying focused on your goals. It's built around the idea that it's easy to get motivated, but it's difficult for most people to stay motivated. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. By show of hands, how many of you have ever made a New Year's resolution? All right. It's not surprising. Statistics show us that 67% of Americans do make New Year's resolutions every year. Sad fact is, only 10% of people ever actually achieve their goals. And in fact, nearly 50% of people completely give up on their resolutions before the end of January. So that's what I mean when I say it's easy to get motivated, but it's difficult for most people to stay motivated. And I say most people because, as I said, 10% of people do achieve their goals. So then the question becomes, what are they doing differently? I've been very fortunate in this business. I get to travel around a lot and interact with people who, by most standards, are considered high achievers. Presidents and CEOs of corporations, managing partners of successful financial groups. And in talking to these people, I found out what separates them, the high achievers, from the average person, really just requires some simple shifts in daily habits. Where's my 0 to 4-year people? All right, this is important for you guys. Simple shifts in your daily habits. It's things like picking up that phone and contacting your clients every day, asking for referrals every single time. And here's another stat for you. I'm not sure if it was Harvard Business Review or Deloitte, but they did a survey. 91% of clients said they would be happy to give referrals. 11% of advisors said they've asked for referrals. So make these simple little shifts. Do it consistently, unconsciously, and habitually. And you soon realize you can achieve any goal you set for yourself. Also, in talking to the high achievers, I've discovered that the reason they're able to consistently, unconsciously, and habitually do the things that make them successful is because they've been programming themselves for success. They figured out a long time ago that motivation doesn't last very long. In fact, for most people, it only lasts for about 48 hours, and then it's gone. And you may have experienced this. Have you ever been to an amazing conference like this one, seen an amazing motivational speaker like this one, and you've left that conference pumped up, motivated, ready to make some changes in your career and in your life, but then a week later you realize you're just back to doing the same things you've always done. The high achievers realize this, and they know that they've got to do something every single day to stay fired up and motivated. Now, if we put this in terms of exercise, if you got up tomorrow and you worked out for 1 hour, there's absolutely no chance you're going to have any lasting benefits from a single hour of exercise. But if you work out 3 days a week for 6 months, at the end of that 6 months, you're going to start to see those benefits accumulating. Now, let's say you do something crazy. You've been working 3 days a week for 5 years, and then one day you wake up and say, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I'm not going to exercise. What you'll begin to notice then is a gradual decrease in your overall health and fitness levels. And the same thing is true in this business. If you're not doing something every single day to keep yourself focused on your goals, fired up and motivated, you'll have good days and bad days. In fact, some people have good weeks and bad weeks. And I'd be willing to bet that on average, most of you in this room have experienced that. That's not the case for the high achievers. I'm not saying they don't have bad days, but there isn't a repetition, there isn't a pattern of bad days. Because they know they have to do something every single day to keep themselves fired up and motivated, focused on their goals. And today, am I still going to 12:15, Eileen?
Yep.
Okay. Today I'll give you 4 techniques that you can use. The high achievers use to stay focused on their goals and maintain their motivation. And the first, the most common method, is simply writing down your goals. Now when I say that, I don't mean once a year you write your goals down, stick them in a drawer and forget about them, because that's no better than a New Year's resolution. Before I became a corporate speaker, I was a project manager at Xerox Corporation. Xerox is kind of floundering right now, but back when I was working there, we were doing all right. But the last few years, things started to shift. But every year, we'd have to do our goal-setting process, what Xerox called the Performance Excellence Plan. As employees, we just called it our PEP. So every January, we'd sit down and we'd fill out our PEP. What are we going to do this year to make the company more profitable? 6 months later, we'd sit down with our manager, and we'd go through that PEP. Are you still on track to do everything you promised to do at the beginning of the year? And then at the end of the year, we'd do our year-end wrap-up. Did you do everything that you promised to do at the beginning of the year? We'd sit down with our manager, we'd review that, and all of that would go into determining our bonus and our pay raise for the next year. But like I said, the last few years, things started to shift. Bonuses had disappeared. Nobody had seen a bonus in years. And we hadn't had pay raises in like 5 years. But we were still expected to do our PEP. So as an employee, it just became a check mark, just something we had to do. So instead of doing it in January, we'd wait until December. So there we are in December, filling out our PEP for the previous year, writing down our goals. And I got to tell you, it's the worst possible way to get yourself or your employees focused on your goals and keep you motivated. But as an employee, you had to be really stupid to get a bad review, because anything you thought you'd do at the beginning of the year that you didn't do, you just didn't write it down. But again, the worst possible way to stay focused on your goals and motivated. So when I say write down your goals, what I mean is at a minimum, 3 to 5 times a week, write down your goals. It's just keeping a little notepad on the corner of your desk. And when you come in the morning, jot down your goals. You should have daily goals, mid-length goals, 2 to 3 years, 5-year goals. But write down your goals and do it 3 to 5 times a week. See, for most people, if you're not constantly revisiting your goals, they tend to get a little fuzzy and you get distracted. By writing them down 3 to 5 times a week, it keeps you focused on them and it keeps you motivated. And by a show of hands again, how many people have heard this before? You should be writing your goals down 3 to 5 times a week. That's actually a good response. I usually get like 4 people in the audience. But let me ask you this question. By a show of hands and be honest, how many of you actually do it? And that's about right. About 2% of people ever actually do it. And do you find it helps? It's successful, right? When you ask people why they don't do it, the number one reason they give is they just don't have enough time. They're too busy. So if I translate that for you, what they're telling you is they're too busy being mediocre to spend a few minutes in the morning writing down their goals. Yet these are the same people you find hanging out at the coffee machine on Monday morning talking about the football game, yet they're too busy to spend a couple minutes writing down their goals. Second most common reason people give for not doing it is it's boring. I hear people say all the time, I was going to write my goals down, but God, you don't realize how boring it is. Besides, I don't need to write down my goals. I know what my goals are. I know it's the biggest killer of success out there. You should be calling clients every day. I know. You should be asking for referrals every single time. I know. You should be writing your goals down 3 to 5 times a week. I know. See, I know it's going to hold you back so much because just knowing isn't enough. Our brains are tracking machines, the way we've been wired since primitive man. Inside your brain is this little bundle of nerves, and it's part of what's called the reticular activating system. And one of the functions of the reticular activating system is to filter information from your conscious mind down into your subconscious mind. And I'll give you an example of when your reticular activating system may have kicked in. I'm going to assume you've all bought a new car. It doesn't have to be brand new, just new to you. I'll also assume that before you bought the car, you read different reviews, you test drove different makes and models. You finally decided on the car that was just right for you. So you go down to the car dealership, put your money down, and you drive your new car off the lot. And as soon as you leave that lot, you're suddenly aware of every single car that looks just like your new car. In fact, sometimes it seems like every third car you see go by you looks just like your new car. You weren't aware of them a week ago, but suddenly there they are right in front of you every time you look. That's your reticular activating system. All those reviews you read, all the test drives you took, that all got filtered down into your reticular activating system, and it realized that for whatever reason, this car is important to you. So now it's taking every opportunity it can to point out every car that looks just like your car. It doesn't know why it's important to you. It just picked up on all of this information and it realized this car is important. So now it's pointing it out to you. So if you just imagine what a powerful ally your reticular activating system can be if you put it to work to help you achieve your goals. By writing your goals down 3 to 5 times a week, that's getting filtered down into your reticular activating system. And just like that car, it's now going to go to work to try to find every opportunity it can to help you make those goals a reality. But if I haven't convinced you that writing your goals down is a good idea, I'll share with you the second method. And for the second method, I'm going to make another assumption. I'm going to assume you all own a smartphone. I've seen all the great slides. You guys are really cutting edge technology, doing video conferencing with clients. I got to assume you all have a smartphone. So if you don't want to write your goals down 3 to 5 times a week, one time, sit down with your smartphone, find your audio recording app. If you don't have an audio recording app on your phone, they all come preloaded with one, but if for some reason you don't have one, go out to any app store, download an audio recording app, and now just one time, spend 5 minutes in a quiet place and record your goals into your smartphone. And now, whenever you're riding in your car, listen to your goals. If you're taking a break at work, listen to your goals. I got a friend, he puts his headphones in, listens to his goals while he's running 5 miles on his treadmill. Every night before you go to sleep, it's a perfect time. When you're just about to go to sleep, you actually do slip into a slight hypnotic state. It opens up your subconscious mind. By listening to your goals for just 5 minutes before you go to sleep every night, you're programming your subconscious mind, getting that information into the reticular activating system. So again, just spend a few minutes recording your goals, and then every chance you get, sit down and listen to your goals. I can make a fortune selling personalized hypnosis recordings to help people achieve their goals. But it's really far more powerful if you hear your own voice repeating your own goals inside your head. After all, it's your voice you hear inside your head all day, every day, giving you suggestions, good and bad. So why not put it to work for you to help you achieve your goals? But if I haven't convinced you that writing your goals down is a good idea, or recording your goals, like I said, I got 4 techniques for you. The third one is a system of reward and punishment. This is based on the psychological principle that any event followed by a pleasurable experience tends to be repeated, and any event followed by an unpleasurable experience tends to not be repeated. It's the same concept the casinos use to keep people sitting at slot machines. You know the house is going to win. The house always wins. And yet you see those people sitting there, the 90-year-old lady with her walker, cigarette hanging out of her mouth, she just keeps feeding that machine, hoping for a retirement payout. The slot machines are set up so that every so often it pays out, even if it's only 50 cents. The lights go off, the bells ring, you hear the ching, 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 and 3 quarters, 4 quarters fall out. And it just keeps you feeding them back into the machine. Reward and punishment is the same way. Set up a system of goals for yourself. Every time you do something that moves you towards your goals, give yourself a little reward. It can be, if you're into microbrews, I love microbrews. Maybe I pick up a new 6-pack, try out a new microbrew. Just a little reward to keep you moving forward. If that isn't enough, then set yourself up where you give yourself a little token. So how many golfers in the room? Drivers are what, $350, $400? So just because you called 10 clients today, don't go home and tell your wife, but the guy at the conference said I could go buy a new driver. No, give yourself a little token, maybe a little penny in a jar, a little gold star on the calendar. Every time you do that, give yourself a little token and decide how many tokens is appropriate. Say, if you do it every day for a week, maybe you get to put half of the money down. Every day for 2 weeks, you get to go buy that new club. But whatever it is, just make the reward enough that it's compelling to keep you moving forward towards those goals. Now, the punishment side. If one day you just decide you're not going to do it, you're not going to call your clients, you're not going to have any appointments, you're just going to blow the day off, you have to punish yourself. So that means, for me, that would be scrubbing the bathrooms. We got 3 bathrooms in our house. I hate scrubbing the bathrooms. If I don't do something that moves me towards my goal, I got to get out the toilet brush, put on the rubber gloves, and I got to scrub that toilet bowl. So you better make sure that you do whatever it takes to get you moving towards your goal, because you don't want to be in there scrubbing the toilets. So again, reward, punishment. If you don't like that one, let me give you the 4th method. And the 4th method is actually my specialty. As I said, I'm a motivational hypnotist. That means I help people achieve their goals, create change in their life by hypnotizing them. And I honestly believe that the top achievers are hypnotizing themselves to be successful. They may not call it that, they may not even realize that's what they're doing, but all you have to do is listen to them talk. You hear them say things like, I just get so focused. Top athletes talk about being in the zone. And it's not a coincidence that the highest achievers in the world are the ones we call visionaries. You can get thoughts or ideas into your subconscious mind in a lot of different ways. You can write them down repeatedly, you can record them and listen to them repeatedly, or you can visualize them repeatedly. Any thought or idea compounded repeatedly is going to end up in your subconscious mind whether you want it there or not. Please don't squeeze the Charmin. That commercial hasn't been on for 30 years, and yet you knew exactly what I was talking about. I know some of the younger ones didn't. I was at a conference one time. It shows my age too, because I still remember that. I said, please don't squeeze the, and a girl who's probably about 23, 24, she just yelled out, lemons. So I don't know what she was thinking of, but it's please don't squeeze the Charmin. As a kid, I could sing all the words to Gilligan's Island. I can still do it today. I can sing the entire theme to Gilligan's Island. But I would have a hard time singing the national anthem for you. Not because I have a terrible voice, which I do, but because it wasn't on that constant loop like Gilligan's Island was when I was a kid. It just kept playing over and over. It was on reruns constantly. It got programmed into my subconscious mind. So again, you can get thoughts or ideas into your subconscious mind in a lot of different ways. So pick one of these techniques, because any thought or idea compounded repeatedly will end up in your subconscious mind, and that will keep you focused on your goals and keep you motivated. And as I said, visualization is hypnosis. Now, when I say the word hypnosis, people tend to get a little nervous. They see the chairs up here. But hypnosis is not what you think it is. A lot of people think that from the time they wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night, they're in a fully conscious state. That's not true. You're only in a conscious state for about 30% of your waking hours. The other 70%, you're slipping in and out of trance-like states. If you don't believe me, here's a few examples. How many times have you ever driven past your exit on the expressway? Yeah. Were you fully conscious? Do you make a habit of driving past just so you can burn a little gas, spend a little more money? No. You were in a trance state. How about this? You pull into the driveway at the end of the day, get out of your car, and you can't remember how you got there. You don't remember if that stoplight was red or green. Did you stop at that stop sign? It was another trance state. Your subconscious mind took over and just got you home. Now you walk into the house, and there's a member of your family just completely zoned out in front of the TV, oblivious to the fact that you walked in. That's a really powerful trance state. Try this next time you're at the office. Got a little time, you're going to take a break, and you don't want to listen to your goals? Get up and walk around and see how many of your colleagues you see just sitting around like this. Go up and snap them out of it. Ask them what they're thinking about. And they're going to be completely honest with you. They're going to say this: nothing. I wasn't thinking anything. I wasn't doing anything at all. And they're not lying. Find one of your top achievers. Find one of your top achievers in that trance state. Snap them out of it. Ask them what they're thinking. Completely different response. They're going to say, you know what, there's this really high net worth client I want to land. I'm just trying to figure out who I know that knows this person so that I can get an introduction. They're always taking advantage of this little trance state. They're working constantly. So what I'd like to do right now is just lead you through a visualization technique to show you how powerful visualization is. So if you don't mind, everybody stand up right where you are. This isn't the hypnosis part, I promise you. Just give yourselves a little bit of room from the person next to you if you can. Just point your feet straight ahead and bring your right arm straight out in front of you like this and just point. Now in just a second, I'm going to ask you to turn clockwise, and I want you to go just as far as you can comfortably go and stop there and just notice where you're pointing. So everybody go ahead and turn clockwise, only as far as you can comfortably go, and pay attention to where you're pointing. Okay, when you've done that, come back around to the front and drop your right arm. Now we're going to do this a few more times, but the next 3 times we're just going to imagine. Go ahead and drop your arm. So everybody go ahead and close your eyes. I just want you to shut out any other outside distractions. Again, this is a visualization technique. So now I want you to imagine, just imagine, but imagine vividly that you're bringing your right arm straight out in front of you and you're pointing. Now I want you to imagine again that you're turning clockwise, but this time I want you to imagine going just a little bit further than that spot you were looking at a minute ago. Imagine your body turning clockwise, and imagine going past that spot you were pointing at the first time, and you go just a little bit further. When you've done that, imagine coming back around, imagine dropping your arm by your side. We're going to do this again, just a couple more times again. Just imagine as vividly as you can, that right arm coming out in front of you, floating straight out in front of you, that index finger pointing. And this time I want you to imagine turning clockwise and going twice as far as you did the first time, shattering any barriers you thought you had. Just imagine your body going twice as far past that spot you had in your mind the first time. When you've done that, imagine coming back around, your right arm dropping by your side. And the third time, imagine your right arm coming straight out in front of you, floating straight out in front of you with your index finger pointing straight ahead. And this time, just like an owl can turn its head all the way around, I want you to imagine you can twist your body 360 degrees. So imagine your body turning clockwise all the way around, turning 360 degrees until you're looking right back here at me again. Realizing how incredible it feels to shatter any barriers you thought you had. Once you've done that, imagine coming back around, your right arm dropping by your side. Everybody go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the room. Perfect. Now we're going to do this one more time, but we're actually going to do it again. So bring your right arm straight out in front of you, index finger pointing straight ahead. And this time I want you to turn clockwise, and I want you to realize how much further you go this time than you did the first time. Go ahead and turn clockwise. Notice how much further you can turn this time. And when you've done that, go ahead and come back around, drop your arms by your side, have a seat, and let's talk about this for a minute. So by a show of hands, how many people went further the second time than you did the first time? And that's what I expect. The average person will go 25% further the second time than they do the first time. So my question to you is, did you have the potential the first time to go just as far as you did the second time? Yes. Obviously you did, because you did it. So then the question becomes, then why didn't you? I want you to think about that for a minute. Why didn't you go just as far the first time as you did the second time? And the answer is this. We all have self-limiting beliefs. You got beliefs you don't even know you have beliefs about, including how far you can turn your body. By using visualization, you can start to tear down those old beliefs and reprogram your subconscious mind to believe that you're capable of so much more. So right now, we're almost to the part where I'm going to bring people up and put them in these chairs. But before I do that, I'm going to make you 3 promises. And the first promise is this. You don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. I don't force people to come up here. I've been doing this for several years. I've never had a problem getting people in my chairs, so I promise you, you don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. I've actually had times where people didn't want to come up. It doesn't happen very often, but if you don't want to, I promise you, you don't have to come up here. Second promise is this. If you do come up here, hypnosis is one of the most wonderful feelings in the world. 1 hour of hypnosis is like an 8-hour nap. I'm going to have you up here for about a half hour, a little bit more, so it's like a 4-hour nap. And you're going to feel refreshed, recharged, relaxed. Really is one of the best feelings in the world. I've had people come up here that were fighting colds, they had headaches, they didn't feel good, they left the stage, they went off and danced and had fun at the end of their conference, they had a wonderful time. It's an incredible feeling, I promise you that. Promise number 3, I'm not going to humiliate anybody. My purpose here is not to embarrass anybody or humiliate them. We're not going to be pole dancing, we're not going to be clucking like chickens. I've had people say, oh, come on, and then I have to tell them, just be careful what you wish for because it might be you up here. But I promise you, I won't humiliate anybody. Every demonstration I do carries with it a business message. I'm going to give the volunteers a suggestion, they'll act on the suggestion, and I'll explain to you what's going on at the subconscious level. So again, you don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. It is one of the best feelings in the world, and I'm not going to humiliate anybody. And I'm going to throw in a bonus too. At the end of my demonstrations, I always give my volunteers some positive suggestions. So if there's any goal you want to achieve, if you want to quit smoking, you want to lose weight, anything at all that you'd like to change in your life for the positive, well, I've got you up here, got you in a hypnotic state. I'm going to fire some of those positive suggestions into your subconscious mind to help you start moving down the road to achieving those goals. So then the question becomes, how do I find these volunteers? You're all familiar with the bell curve, yes? All right. Bell curve works for me too, because I can walk into any room and I know instantly that 80% of the people in that room will make average volunteers. It means if I spend a little bit of time with you, I'll be able to get you into a decent working state of hypnosis. Bell curve also tells me that 10% of the people in the room are just going to be terrible. They're not going to pay attention to me, they're going to avoid me, they won't look at me, they're not going to listen to me. So I don't even worry about those people, I just reject them automatically. Bell curve also tells me that 10% of the people in the room are going to make amazing volunteers. In fact, those are the people I'm looking for, that top 10%. And even more important than that, I want the top 2 to 3%. So we got about roughly 100 people in here. I'm looking for 2 or 3 really good volunteers, and then a couple other people that just want to have a good time, experience those positive benefits that I promised you. But I'm really looking for that top 2 to 3%. And there's a lot of different ways I can find that top 2 to 3%. And what we found as hypnotists is people with the best imaginations make the best volunteers. So I'd like to guide you through a couple tests first, just to get your minds starting to get programmed for this. So if you don't mind, what I'd like everyone to do is take your both hands and hold them straight out in front of you like this. Now bring them together, rub them, get them warmed up a little bit. And now interlock your fingers like this. Take your index fingers and hold them straight up, and bend your elbows at a 90-degree angle like this. Now, in just a moment, not yet, I'm going to ask you to separate your fingers. When I do, I want you to separate them just about an inch, maybe half an inch. Separate them just a little bit, and I want you to just focus on the space between your fingers. So everybody go ahead and do that right now. Separate your fingers just a little bit and focus and concentrate on that space between your fingers. And just focus on the sound of my voice as you're focused on that empty space between your fingers. What I'd like you to do right now is get an image in your mind of a piece of steel on one finger and a powerful magnet on the other finger. And I want you to imagine that that magnet's being drawn closer and closer to that piece of steel. Just create that image in your mind of your fingers beginning to twitch, move, being drawn closer and closer together. Just imagine I snap my fingers and that magnet gets 10 times stronger. And it's really drawing that piece of steel and that magnet together, getting closer and closer. The fingers twitching, moving, being drawn closer and closer together as you continue to focus and concentrate on that spot between your fingers. When your fingers have touched, just go ahead and drop your hands. And that's about what I would expect, about 30%. Everybody go ahead and put your hands down now. If that didn't work, it doesn't mean you can't be hypnotized. It just means you need to focus a little bit more. The test I really like to use to find my volunteers is an even better test of the imagination. It's what I call buckets and balloons. So we're going to all do that right now. Again, you don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. I would like it if you all just participate in this little test, just because I think you'll find it fascinating. So if you don't mind, everybody sit up straight in your chairs, feet flat on the floor. Take your right arm, hold it straight out in front of you, palm up like this. Your left arm straight out in front of you, palm down. What I'd like you all to do right now is just go ahead and close your eyes. And again, this is just to shut out any other outside distractions. And I want you to focus only on the sound of my voice. Any other sounds you hear is just the sounds of everyday life going on around you. They don't matter. Just push them to the back of your mind. I also want you to only think about the suggestions I'm giving you. Any other thoughts that enter your mind, I want you to just let them float right back out. And just focus and follow my instructions. I'd like everyone to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Let's do it together. First breath, really deep into your lungs. And exhale all the way out. And the second breath, deeper than the first, really filling up your lungs. And exhale, feeling wonderful. And the third breath, the deepest breath, really, really filling up your lungs. And as you exhale, just feel relaxation starting to spread throughout your body. As I said, this is a test of the imagination. At some point during this test, I may come by and I may touch you on the shoulder and I may give you a couple suggestions. If I do, I promise you I'm not being fresh. It just means I think you're doing a good job, and I want you to just follow my instructions. So what I'd like you to do right now is just imagine that you can see through your eyelids as they remain closed. Imagine you can see me walking up to you, and in my right hand, I'm holding a bucket. This can be a bucket of any color because in just a moment, it'll be your bucket. Now I want you to imagine I'm walking up and I'm placing the handle of that bucket across the palm of your right hand. So everybody go ahead and close your fingers tightly around that bucket handle and don't let go. Now I want you to imagine I'm walking up and I'm placing the end of a garden hose into your bucket. Now I'm going to the other end of that garden hose and I'm turning on the water. I want you to see that water pouring into the bucket. I want you to hear that water pouring into the bucket. And I want you to begin to feel that bucket getting heavier and heavier and heavier. As that bucket continues to fill, your right arm will be getting more and more tired, being drawn down by your side. It may hit the table. If it does, that's okay. But that bucket's going to continue getting heavier and heavier and heavier as you continue to focus on that water filling the bucket. The bucket's now a quarter full. Your right arm's being drawn down, down, down. Now imagine I'm coming up and I'm tying a string around your left wrist. Attached to the other end of that string are 100 helium balloons. As that bucket continues to get heavier and heavier, being drawn down closer and closer to the ground, I want you to imagine now that those balloons are gently lifting and rising, rising and lifting, drawing your left arm higher and higher into the air. 100 balloons on your left arm going up, up, up. As that bucket's getting heavier and heavier, drawing your right arm down, down, down. The bucket's now half full, getting so heavy, getting heavier and heavier. As those balloons are getting lighter and lighter, floating up, up, up. I snap my fingers, it's now like 200 helium balloons, lifting and rising, rising and lifting, floating higher and higher into the air. As that bucket's now 3/4 full and getting heavier and heavier, being drawn down, down, down. If that bucket ever gets too heavy, just go ahead and let it go. And just focus on those balloons gently lifting and rising, floating your left arm higher and higher into the air. So that left arm is now going up, up, up. I snap my fingers, it's now 300 helium balloons, lifting and rising, rising and lifting, floating higher and higher into the air. Bucket's so heavy now if you're still holding onto that bucket. Those balloons lifting and rising, rising and lifting, floating higher and higher into the air. Just go ahead and just relax, let it go, just sleep, just go deeper and deeper with every word I say. So those balloons gently lifting and rising, floating higher and higher into the air, going up, up, up. Just go ahead and let it go, relax, deeper and deeper, relax with every word I say. Bucket so heavy, balloons so light, lifting and rising, rising and lifting, floating higher and higher. You should just let it go and sleep deeper and deeper, relaxed. Perfect. Let's continue focusing on those balloons as they go up, 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 floating higher and higher into the air, lifting and rising, rising and lifting. Bucket so heavy now, completely full, water flowing over the edge of that bucket. So those balloons gently lifting and rising. Just let it go and sleep, go deeper and deeper, relax. Bucket so heavy, balloons so light, lifting and rising, floating higher and higher into the air. Got a lot of good people here. Continue focusing on my voice, going deeper and deeper, relax with every word I say if I've touched you on the shoulder. Just relax, let it go, go deeper and deeper, relax. Just let that bucket go and just sleep, letting it go, sleep, relaxing deeper and deeper, relaxed. Just sleep, let it go, just relax, okay? All right, in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 up to 3. If I did not touch you on the shoulder, to count of 3, I want you to open your eyes, coming back into the room. If I did touch you on the shoulder, just continue relaxing, going deeper and deeper with every word I say. Again, if I did not touch you on the shoulder, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes in just a moment. Just relax, let it go. Go deeper and deeper, relaxed. If I did touch you on the arm, if I did talk to you, just continue to keep your eyes closed. Everyone else, on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Eyes open. Welcome back to the room. Those of you that I did touch on the shoulder, in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 up to 3. Again, you don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. It's the only skill I've got. I've got some time to fill, so I would appreciate it if I do have some people up here. But again, no pressure, except for the fact that I want you to feel sorry for me if you don't. But on the count of 3, if I did touch you on the arm, if I did talk to you, eyes open, and please join me up here on stage. 1, 2, and 3. Everyone back into the room. If you want to volunteer, please join me up here. If we don't have enough chairs, I'll grab a couple more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Try to fill in the spaces between the chairs a little bit. Yeah, I need one more. 2 more. Thank you. One more chair. Whoever's not here. Oh, just have you move down just a little bit and you can squeeze right in there. Now I'm going to ask everybody to bring your chairs forward just a couple feet so I can stand behind you. Because starting right now, I'm no longer the star of this production, you guys are. I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't tell jokes. So from now on, the success or failure of my presentation relies solely on you 8 people. Kind of takes the pressure off of me. Let's give our volunteers a big round of applause for coming up. So why did I pick these volunteers? Most of you had your eyes closed, so what you didn't see is I asked them to picture. I asked you all to picture. Bucket in one hand filling with water, balloons on the other hand, with lifting the left arm up. These people have a really good ability to take that image in their mind and convert it to a physical action at a subconscious level. I need to start jogging. I am out of shape just going up and down these aisles. Now, what was that? Yeah. Now, where was I? So, at a subconscious level, you all were doing rather well. You had some separation in your hands. Some of you are like this, some of you are like this. What I look for, and people ask me all the time, so why did you pick them and not me? Because I had my arms like that. What I'm looking for is, again, at a subconscious level. At a conscious level, you would be like this, and you would go, oh, I know what he's saying. Yeah, those balloons are lifting. So I see this from a lot of people. Or sometimes I offer those positive suggestions. You want to change in your life. I say, ooh, pick me. Yeah, I'm a good volunteer. Pick me. What I'm really looking for is that subconscious reaction. So if a balloon was tied to your wrist, and it's not so much about the bucket, because a lot of times the table stops your hand. It's just two things for you to focus on. What I'm really looking for is those balloons, especially in a room this large with this many people. I'm looking for what would it look like if I tied a string around your wrist and that wrist was lifted in the air by balloons. You're going to see the hand is loose. It's a completely subconscious reaction, as if it were real. So the arm comes up like this, the hand is loose and limp. It's not like this. So a lot of you did really good. You're part of that 80%. Excuse me. And again, what I'm looking for is that top 2 to 3%, the people who are really, really good somnambulists. A somnambulist is just a fancy way of saying they go into hypnosis very easily. And as I said earlier, visualization is hypnosis. They were able to visualize, so that's why they're here. So if you give me just a couple minutes, I'm going to drop them back into hypnosis, get them down into a decent working state, and then we'll have a little bit of fun. What's your name?
Marcia.
Marcia. Marcia, I'm going to have you move over to the left just a little bit. There we go. And I want you to just pick one of those white lights out of the back of the room, probably that middle one just right there. And I want you to just take a nice deep breath in and exhale. And I want you to just remember what it felt like to be out in the audience. Remember how relaxed you were. Let me just see this wrist. And just relax and let it go. And just keep focusing on that light. I got it. Just let me do all the work. I want you to just focus on that light. And I want you to just blink. And just remember how good it felt to be out in that audience relaxing. And just blink again. I want you to focus only on the sound of my voice and just relax this arm. Just let me have all the weight. There you go. You don't have to do anything except just relax. And I want you to blink one more time. I want you to take one more nice deep breath in. And this time when you do, just close your eyes down as you exhale. And I want you to just remember how nice it felt to relax and just let yourself go and relax deeper and deeper relaxed. Perfect, just like that. Just continue going deeper and deeper relaxed with every word I say, just feeling wonderful with every word I say. What's your name? Jeff. Jeff, nice to meet you. I want you to look right here. Don't take your eyes off me. And take a nice deep breath in. That's right, just go ahead and blink. One more nice deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, just close your eyes down and sleep, relaxing deeper and deeper relaxed. Perfect. Hi, and your name?
Ciao.
Ciao. Nice to meet you, Ciao. Look right here in my eye. Don't take your eyes off my eye. Just take a nice deep breath in, Ciao. And exhale. And one more nice deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, just go ahead, sleep, close your eyes down, resting deeper and deeper. It's a little weird being up here this close, isn't it?
Yeah.
And your name?
Umang.
Umang. Don't want to pronounce it wrong. Leaders Club, congratulations. Same thing, look right here. Don't take your eyes off me until I tell you to do so. Just go ahead and blink, there you go. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. One more nice deep breath in. And sleep. Perfect. Go deeper and deeper, relax with every word I say. Excellent. Misty, nice to meet you. I'm going to take your hand right here. I want you to just focus right here on the palm of your hand. I want you to look right there. I want you to notice, just go ahead and open your palm like that. I want you to just look at the lines on your hand. Just notice as your hand gets closer and closer how your vision changes, your focus changes. And as it gets closer and closer, the minute it touches your forehead, just sleep, relaxing all the way down deeper and deeper relaxed. Perfect. Just continue resting and relaxing. Could I borrow a jacket from one of the gentlemen? Perfect. I'll make sure it doesn't get trampled on. I just want to cover her lap. Perfect. Misty, I'm just going to place this across your lap so you can relax. Just go ahead. Perfect. Just keep going deeper and deeper relaxed. Everyone else, I want you to just focus on a light on the back of the room. And don't take your eyes off that light until I tell you to do so. I want you to just focus and concentrate. I want you to just remember how great it felt to be so relaxed, so comfortable when you're sitting out in the audience. As you continue to focus and concentrate on that light, you may begin to notice that your eyes, the eyelids get a little heavy. Your eyes may begin to water. Just keep focusing and concentrating on that light. While you're focusing and concentrating on that light, I want you to focus and concentrate on the sound of my voice. Again, I want you to remember how great it felt to be out in the audience, how relaxed you felt, how wonderful you felt. I want you to also become aware of the temperature of the room. As you continue to focus on that light, focus on the sound of my voice, becoming aware of the temperature in the room. I want you to start to ask yourself, which hand feels more comfortable? Which arm feels more comfortable? Your left arm or your right arm? See, there's no right or wrong way to get hypnotized. It's a very personal experience. As you continue to focus and concentrate on that light, listening to the sound of my voice, becoming aware of the temperature in the room, realizing that one hand, one arm is more relaxed than the other. I want you to all take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can all close your eyes down now. Just continue focusing on the sound of my voice. As I said, people with great imaginations make great volunteers. So what I'd like you all to do right now is just imagine a golden light shining on the top of your head. This is the light of relaxation. I'm going to help you move this light from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, relaxing every single muscle, nerve, and fiber in your body. Always focused only on the sound of my voice, allowing any other sounds in the room to just disappear. I want you to think only about relaxation. Any other thoughts you have, just allow them to fade into the background. And think only about relaxation. Every breath you take, every word I say, every beat of your heart, just reminding you to relax deeper and deeper. As we move that light from the top of your head down across your forehead now, beginning to feel all the muscles in your forehead growing loose and limp and relaxed. That relaxation now moving down into your eyelids, relaxing every single muscle, nerve, and fiber around your eyes. Relaxing your eyes so completely, so perfectly that if I were to ask you to open your eyes, you'd realize it's just too much effort and your eyes would simply remain closed. Almost as if there's a little dab of super glue underneath each eyelid. Imagine that relaxation now moving from your eyes down into your jaw muscles. If your jaw was clenched, just let it unclench now. Allow your teeth to part just a little. Feeling that relaxation spreading throughout your entire face. If at any time I come by and I touch you on the shoulder, don't let it disturb you. Let it just be a signal that you're doing a great job, and I want you to relax even more as we move that relaxation now down into your neck. In just a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 down to 1. When I get to 1, I want you to instantly and automatically relax every single muscle in your neck, allowing your head to fall forward, allowing your chin to come closer to your chest. It's in 3, 2, 1. Relaxing down now, feeling that relaxation spread throughout your neck. Relaxation's now moving from shoulder to shoulder. It's becoming contagious now, flowing freely down through your arms, down past your biceps, down past your triceps, down past your elbow, down into your forearms, down into your hands, and into your fingers. Any now remaining tension in your upper body flowing freely now down through those arms, just like that water through the garden hose, gone from your mind, gone from your body, gone for good. As that relaxation continues to spread throughout your entire back, your upper back, your lower back, wrapping around you now like a warm blanket of relaxation, allowing you to breathe more freely, allowing you to breathe more easily. See, the more you relax, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more you're able to relax and just let go. As that relaxation continues to flow down past your hips, down into your upper legs, your quadriceps, your thigh muscles, those big strong muscles that work so hard all day, every day to move you from place to place, they never really get a chance to just relax and let go. Now's the time to allow that to happen. The relaxation spreading throughout your legs, turning those muscles into loose, limp rubber bands. Relaxation moving into your knees. Your legs becoming so relaxed that if I were to ask you to stand, it would be too much effort. And even if you could stand, your legs so relaxed, so tired that you drop back down into your chair, going 10 times deeper relaxed. The relaxation now moving down into your shins and your calf muscles, down into your ankles, down into your feet. Again, any and all remaining tension in your lower body flowing freely now down through your feet, out through the bottoms of your feet, just like that water through the garden hose, flowing down through your legs, down into your feet. Gone from your mind, gone from your body, gone for good. The person I'm touching right now, I want you to just sit up and you realize you can relax even more as you just sit up. Allow your head to fall forward. Just relax deeper and deeper relax. Perfect. Already feeling more relaxed than you have in a long time. But I want to help you relax even more. You see, there's no limit to your relaxation. We can always relax more. So I'm going to come by and I'm going to give a little tug on one or both of your arms. And when I do, I want you to let that be a signal to go even deeper relaxed than you already are. Nod your heads if you understand. Perfect. Just take a deep breath in and sleep all the way down. Perfect. Nice deep breath in. Sleep. Perfect. Nice deep breath in. Sleep. Perfect. Safe and secure in your chair. I sit you up, you relax even better, Misty. Perfect. Just like that. Nice deep breath in. Sleep. Perfect. Nice deep breath in. Sleep. Perfect. Nice deep breath in. Just let it go and sleep. Perfect. Long, nice deep breath in. Sleep all the way down. Ciao. You're doing perfect. You're a rock star. Sleep. And nice deep breath in, Krista, as your hand touches your leg 10 times deeper relaxed. You're all doing wonderful. But again, there's no limit to our relaxation, so let's go even deeper. I'm going to count backwards from 10 down to 1 with each number I say. I want you to double the relaxation you're currently feeling. So as we go from 10 down to 9, doubling your relaxation. 9 down to 8, 7, and 6, doubling with each number I say. 6 down to 5, halfway there. 5 down to 4, 3, 2, 1. Now there's still one number left. And I want you to imagine that 0 floating out in front of you. The other side of that 0 represents complete and total relaxation. I know I've said there's no limit to your relaxation, but whatever complete and total relaxation is to you, that's what the other side of that 0 represents. I'm going to count backwards from 3 down to 1. When I get to 1, I want you to imagine moving through that 0 to the other side, to your complete and total relaxation. Starting with 3, that 0 moving closer to you as you move closer to the 0. 2, closer and closer. And 1, passing through that 0 to complete and total relaxation. You're doing perfect. Just relax just like that. Excellent. Starting right now, whenever I say the word sleep, sleep now, or I touch you on the forehead, I want you to instantly and automatically return to this very pleasant state, always going deeper relaxed than the time before. So whenever I say the word sleep, sleep now, or touch you on the forehead, you drop right back down into this very pleasant state, always going deeper than the time before. Ciao, you will always remain safe and secure in your chair. Also starting right now, any suggestion I give you, I've already promised you I'm not going to humiliate you or embarrass you. I'll keep you safe at all times. Every suggestion I give you, you act on it as if it were true. So any suggestion I give you, you act as if it's true. Nod your heads if you accept and understand. Perfect. Excellent. So, these are our volunteers. Starting right now, these guys are in a really good state. You can make all the noise you want. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and laugh. Once a person's in a hypnotic state in their subconscious mind, they're like a 9-year-old child. They just want to please and have fun. So the more fun you're having, the more fun they're going to have. So go ahead and give these guys a big round of applause and send them even deeper for me. Sure. I was just informed I need one more jacket. I would give up my jacket, but I've got like microphone packs and everything. Thank you. I'll do my best to keep it safe for you. Okay. Everyone up on stage, in just a moment, I'm going to come by and I'm going to touch you on one of your shoulders. When I do, I want you to imagine that that arm is becoming stiff and rigid like a steel bar. It'll lock at the shoulder, lock at the elbow, lock at the wrist. When I touch you on the shoulder, you're going to imagine that arm becoming stiff and rigid like a steel bar, straight out in front of you, just like this, stiff and rigid like a steel bar, locking at the shoulder, locking at the elbow, locking at the wrist, that fist locking right down, stiff and rigid. No matter how hard I try to push it down, I cannot push it down. No matter how hard I try to bend it, I cannot bend it. Perfect. This arm like a steel bar, stiff and rigid, locking at the shoulder, locking at the elbow, locking at the wrist, stiff and rigid. No matter how hard I try to push it down, I cannot. Misty, locking at the shoulder, locking at the elbow. Perfect. Yes. Person right now, locking at the shoulder, locking at the elbow, locking at the wrist. No matter how hard I can do a handstand on that one. Locking at the shoulder, locking at the wrist. Perfect. Locking at the shoulder, locking at the wrist. Excellent. Locking at the shoulder, locking at the wrist like a steel bar. Chow, locking at the shoulder, locking at the, yes, stiff and rigid. No matter how hard I try to push, I cannot push it down. No matter how hard I try to bend, I cannot bend it. Perfect. Stiff and rigid like a steel bar. No matter how hard I try to push it down, I cannot. Stiff and rigid like a steel bar. Stiffer and stiffer, more and more rigid. Stiffer and stiffer, more and more rigid like a steel bar. Perfect. You guys are all doing great. What this is an excellent demonstration of focus. You want to achieve your goals, you want to be successful, you need focus. Every other part of their body completely loose, limp, and relaxed. The only thing that's stiff and rigid is the arm that's like a steel bar, stiff and rigid. The rest of their body loose, limp, and relaxed. Perfect. Loose, limp, and relaxed. Perfect. The only thing they're focused on is that steel bar. And that's the kind of focus you need to have if you want to be successful. You got to shut out the outside distractions. We heard Kelly say earlier, we are living in an age of change, and it's happening faster than it's ever happened in history. We've got all these distractions going on around us. You need to have focus even more now than you have in the past. But at the same time, you can't maintain this kind of focus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to burn out. So at the end of the day, it's important to just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just sleep, relax, and let it go. Sleep, 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 relax. Sleep, relax, and let it go. Sleep, relax, and let it go. So again, the rest of my presentation, keep this in mind. Change the pictures in your mind, you change your behavior, you change your performance. I cherry-picked these guys. Like I said, I was looking for certain characteristics. But I also said that 80% of you in the room could have been up here. 10% of you that are on that negative end of the scale doesn't mean you can't do this, just means that you don't want any part of this. For whatever reason, you just want to see what's going on. You don't trust this weird guy up on stage who said he's going to hypnotize people. For whatever reason, you just decided, you self-selected yourself out. But it doesn't mean you aren't capable of all the same things. Change the pictures in your mind, change your behavior, and you change your performance. Let's talk a little bit about emotional control. Would you all agree that a person who believes in themselves, has a positive self-image, believes in their products and services is going to be far more successful than a person who has fear of failure, fear of rejection, and doesn't believe in their products and services? Just makes sense, right? You can't be a successful Ferrari salesman if you're driving a Yugo. You just can't. You're not driving the product that you're supposed to be selling. Same thing with insurance or financial services. You have to believe in it because you're not out there just selling insurance or financial services. You're building relationships. You're solving problems for people. It's much easier to do that if you take the whole sales aspect out of it. Just believe in your products and services, believe in yourselves, build those relationships, and you're going to have a very successful career. So let's look at emotional control. Everyone up on stage, in just a moment, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder. This time when I tap you on the shoulder, I want you to imagine you're hearing the funniest joke you've ever heard in your entire life. As I tap you on the shoulder, you're going to start hearing that joke, and it's going to get funnier and funnier, and you're going to start laughing. It might start as just a little giggle, but it's going to build up from your toes, and it's going to get funnier and funnier and funnier, and you're going to start laughing harder and harder and harder. I stop my foot on the floor, it gets 10 times funnier, and there it is, it's 10 times funnier, and you're starting to laugh harder and harder. No matter how hard you try to stop laughing, you cannot stop laughing, and it's now 100 times funnier. I tap you on the shoulder, it's 100 times funnier. This is the funniest joke, laughing harder and harder. Go ahead and try to stop laughing. You cannot stop yourself from laughing. This is the funniest joke. You're doubling over. Oh my God, your stomach's starting to hurt. You're laughing so hard. And there's the punchline. It's 1,000 times funnier than you expected it to be. You cannot stop laughing. You will not wet your pants, but man, are you laughing harder than you've ever laughed in your entire life. Now everybody finds this amazing that they can turn it on like that. But check this out. Sleep! They can shut it off that quickly too. That's emotional control. We've all had situations where we're at work and we say, that person makes me so mad. Or you got a client and maybe they're difficult to work with, but they're a good client, and you just get off the phone and you're like, they frustrate me so much. You've got control. You've got absolute control over your emotions. You just have to tap into your subconscious mind, take control of those emotions. Nobody can make you feel anything or make you do anything. You're giving them that power. Realize you've got the power over your own subconscious mind, over your emotions. And again, believe in yourself, believe in your products and services, and you're going to be far more successful. I see Kelly checking his watch, so I'm just checking mine too. So the same thing is true with change. Again, we talked about change. Change is all around us. You can't avoid change. You know, I know the DOL rolled out new regulations, and that caused some turmoil in the industry. And I know you're getting into new technology, and all of this resistance to change is all based in fear. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, and just that general feeling of, I don't like this isn't how we've always done business. 2 years ago, I had to have brain surgery. And you may wonder what that has to do with any of this, but I don't know about you, I don't have brain surgery every day, so I considered that a change from my norm. And I approached this change as a hypnotist. Again, I tell you, use visualization. I took this idea of visualization to its very limit. I found the actual video of the surgery I was going to have on YouTube. It's called microvascular decompression surgery. I watched it from beginning to end probably 5 times. First couple times I was a little queasy, really uncomfortable, but I knew if I could get through it, then I could get through the surgery with no problems. So I watched the surgery, and then I went in to see my neurosurgeon. And he says, would you like me to explain the surgery to you? And I said, no. I know exactly what's going to happen. And he says, all right, smarty pants, what's going to happen? I said, you're going to bring me in, you're going to put me in a halo, you're going to strap me to the bed, you're going to take a Black & Decker to the back of my skull, you're going to drill a hole, you're going to move my brainstem around, you're going to put some pillows in there. I had some nerve damage that had to be fixed in my brainstem. I said, so you're going to put some pillows in there, patch me up, and send me home. He says, I went to school for 12 years, and you took the most complicated surgery I've ever done and boiled it down into like a very simplistic thing, but I kind of get the feeling you know what's going to happen. So he says, do you have any other questions? And all my volunteers just continue resting and relaxing, going deeper and deeper with every word I say. I promise I'll get back to you. He said, do you have any other questions or concerns? And I said, yes. I said, I don't like tubes. I don't want to be intubated, and I don't want to have a catheter. I said, I don't want to be intubated because I'm afraid I'm going to wake up in the middle of surgery and try to pull that tube out. I'm just going to freak out. I said, and I don't want a catheter mainly because I just don't want anything jammed up there. So he said, okay, great, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, yes, we don't have to do this. And he says, no, of course we have to do this, but you have no choice in the matter, so just let it go. Why are you worried about something you don't have any control over? Besides that, you're going to be asleep the whole time, so what do you care? And he was right. I'd eliminated the unknowns. I watched the video. I knew what was going to happen. But there's still things that I had no control over. DOL regulations, you have no control over them. Sometimes you just have to accept that things are going to happen that you have no control over. As soon as you can learn to accept those things that you don't have any control over and take control of the things you can control, sooner you can learn to embrace this change, you can eliminate stress from your life, and you can just start to move forward successfully. So again, any of these changes that you're going through, there's some really good changes that are happening, and there's some bad changes. Maybe some people consider them bad, but sometimes there's just changes that are happening that you have no control over. So learn to let those go. Take control of the things you have control over. Control your business. Control your lives in a positive way. And I want to look at this idea of emotional control just a little bit more. We've all heard the saying, never let them see you sweat. And maybe, again, our new advisors, producers in the room, maybe you're a little bit afraid to approach clients. I know, like I said, 91% of clients said they would give referrals, 11% of agents said they asked for them. If you're afraid to ask for referrals, use visualization. Spend a few minutes before you have your appointment with your client visualizing a successful outcome. Visualize that this person is your best friend and you're about to help them solve a problem. that eliminates all that stress, all that negativity around asking for referrals. Again, if you go into this business as a problem solver, as a trusted advisor, and not a salesman, you should have no problem asking for referrals. These people want to give them anyway, so don't be afraid to ask for them. But if you do get nervous, 5 minutes, visualizing a successful outcome, visualizing that this person you're about to sit down with is your best friend, and you can eliminate those negative feelings and replace them permanently with feelings of success. Before I got into being a hypnotist, I had terrible stage fright. There's no way I could have stood up here in front of you guys and talked. I couldn't stand in a room and say, "Hi, my name is Jack Hirsch," without breaking into a flop sweat. Use visualization over and over. Reprogram those negative emotions with positive emotions. I guarantee you it works. I'm living proof of it. But let me show you something. Like I said, never let them see you sweat. Everyone up on stage, you realize this next thing to be true. You're now sitting on a beautiful beach, and it's 85 degrees out. Maybe it's a beach you've been to before, maybe it's a beach you've always wanted to go to, but it's 85 degrees. You're gonna sit up in your chairs on the count of 3, kicking back, enjoying that sun beating down on you. It's on the count of 3. Eyes tightly closed, kicking back, enjoying that sun. 1, 2, and 3. It's 85, 86, 87 degrees, getting hotter and hotter. 88, 89, 90 degrees. Go ahead and fan yourselves off. Do what you got to do to stay cool. But remember, we are in public. If you want to kick your shoes off, go ahead and do that. It's now 91, 92, 93 degrees, getting hotter and hotter. 95, 97 degrees. Fan yourselves off. Do whatever you got to do to stay cool. It's 100 degrees. 101, 102. Wow, it's getting so hot. 103, 104 degrees, getting so hot. 115 degrees. I live in Phoenix, and in summer it gets to be 120 degrees. Well, right now it's 125, 126, 127 degrees, getting so hot, so uncomfortably hot. You're starting to sweat. That sweat's just pouring down off your forehead, getting so hot. 115, 125, 135, 140 degrees. You feel like you're about to burst into flames. It's 150 degrees, so hot. And you may be saying to yourself, "Oh, they're up there, they've got lights on them, maybe they're a little nervous and they're sweating." All right. One of my volunteers look off on the horizon. There's some storm clouds moving in. They're going to ruin your beach day. You can already feel the temperature starting to drop. It's now down to 110. It's down to 95. These clouds are really starting to move in. It's dropping now. It's 75 degrees. It's getting cooler. 60 degrees. You can feel that rain starting to just beat down on your head just a little bit. Down to 65, 60, 55, 40 degrees, 30 degrees. It's dropping like crazy now. You are not prepared for this. It's down to 10, 9, 8 degrees. Huddle up with the person next to you if you need to stay warm. It's now -5, -6, -7 degrees, getting so cold. -25, -30 degrees, so cold. As you all take a deep breath in and sleep all the way down. 2 people I'm touching right now, only the 2 people I'm touching right now. 1, 2, 3, eyes open.
Okay.
Do you guys know each other?
No.
Shake hands. Shake hands. You guys can be friends for the rest of this conference. And just take a nice deep breath in and sleep all the way down. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Person I'm touching right now, and only the person I'm touching right now. Just a moment, I'm going to have you open your eyes. When you do, you're going to realize that you're thirstier than you've ever been. Eileen, where's those? I need a bottle. Can we get a bottle really quick? Just 1 bottle would be good. I'm not difficult. It's actually very critical to the part of the demonstration. Okay, so the person I'm touching right now, just continue resting and relaxing deeper and deeper. We're going to come back to you in just a minute. The person I'm touching right now, we're going to move to you. The person I'm touching right now, in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. When I do, you're going to suddenly realize that the number 3 no longer exists. In fact, the number 3 has never existed. You don't even know what that word means. As far as you're concerned, you've always counted 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Backwards, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. That number between 2 and 4 has never existed. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is how you've always counted. Nod your head if you accept and understand. Perfect. The person I'm touching right now, and only the person I'm touching right now. On the count of 2, eyes open. 1 and 2, eyes open. Welcome back, Chow. How are you? Thank you very much. Chow, I'm going to ask you to stand up with me. And this might seem like a really weird question for you, but can you hold your hand up like this? Perfect. I'm going to point at each finger, and I want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 4.
Oh, louder. Let's go louder.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Is that right? How many fingers were you born with? 5 on one hand, right? Well, let's count backwards then.
5,
5,
4,
4,
2,
2,
1,
1,
0.
0. 0 finger. You must be really good at math with that 0 finger. Let's try both hands. How many fingers should you have total on both hands?
10.
10. All right. Let me just do this. Okay, so
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
11. Where'd that extra finger come from?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Go ahead and have a seat. Try to figure out where that extra finger came from. Maybe your math is off. Maybe, I don't know. But you guys find that funny that she forgot that particular number, and yet you forget things every day. Have you ever walked around your house if you wear glasses, looking for your glasses, and they're right there on top of your head the whole time? Or how about this? You've got your list of goals. And you walk in the morning, and one of your goals is to get right to work and start calling clients. And, oh, let me just log into Facebook really quick. Well, let me go grab a cup of coffee. Oh, let's talk about the football game. Suddenly you've forgotten to call your clients. You guys forget things far more important than this every day. And this is funny, yet loss to your business by forgetting to call clients isn't so funny. So just keep that in mind. We forget things every day. That's why it's important to write those goals down so that you can keep them right in front of you so you can stay focused on them. Chow, did you figure it out yet? No? I touch you on the forehead, you suddenly realize what's going on. So how many fingers? Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Give me 5. Sleep. All the way down deeper and deeper. Perfect. Person I'm touching right now, you realize this next thing to be true. Next time you open your eyes, you're going to realize you're thirstier than you've ever been in your entire life. You just need a drink of water. It's like you just spent a week in the desert without water. You got cotton in your mouth, you got sand in your mouth, and you're just getting thirstier and thirstier and thirstier. Perfect. Next time you open your eyes, you're going to realize you need a bottle of water. So when you open your eyes, you're going to demand that I give you a bottle of water. You're not going to take no, you're not going to take maybe, you're going to demand a bottle of water. That's not a problem. I do have water for you. The problem is, though, no matter how hard you try to open that bottle, you will not be able to open it. It's like you've got the strength of a newborn baby. You can feel yourself getting weaker and weaker as I talk right now. When you open your eyes, you're going to realize you're thirstier than you've ever been, and you just need a drink of water. But no matter how hard you try, you will not be able to open this bottle. Nod your head if you accept and understand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes open. Guillermo? You thirsty?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So remember earlier we did the pointing exercise, and I talked about self-limiting beliefs. This is what we're seeing right here. I'll move out of the way so you guys on the left can see. Any other time, I didn't crank that cap down. I was actually testing it to make sure that it moved freely. He has an image in his mind of what he believes it looks like when he's got the strength of a newborn baby. He's reacting on that image. Change the pictures in your mind, change your behavior, you change your performance. Any other time, he could rip that bottle open, and he's getting thirstier and thirstier and thirstier. But he's got a mental block right now. He's got a picture in his mind that he cannot open this bottle, and that's his result. So again, change the pictures in your mind, change your performance, change your behavior. If you have negative pictures in your mind, your life is going to be negative. If you want to have a positive life, have positive pictures in your mind. This isn't the law of attraction. This isn't secret again. This is just how your brain is wired. This is the reticular activating system. Everything I've taught you today is based in science, based on sound psychology, and demonstrated for you right there. I can't let him go through this anymore. Guillermo, 1, 2, 3, you can now open that bottle. Go ahead. You've destroyed that bottle. Let me get you a fresh bottle. Squeeze that thing like it was a lemon. Here, I don't want you to be thirsty anymore. Take that one. Your strength is back just like that. There you go. So again, I cherry-picked these volunteers because I knew they would give me these kind of reactions. The same thing is true for all of you out in the audience. Change the pictures in your mind, change your behavior, change your performance. Misty, I'm going to sit you up, and you just go deeper relax as you sit up and just get comfortable. There you go. Perfect. Just make sure. Excellent. Are you good? Do you need more?
More water.
I got one more for you. Yeah. Don't drink this one so fast, I don't want you to get sick. We are going to lunch in just a few minutes, so take it easy on that one. This time, first sip, you suddenly realize you're not thirsty anymore. You feel perfectly normal. Feel good? All right, let me see that bottle. Take my hand, deep breath in, and sleep, Guillermo. Perfect. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. Umang, we're almost to the part where I'm going to give you the positive suggestions. So I want you to just take a deep breath in. Sleep, Umang, all the way down. Everybody sleep, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. Does anybody have any questions about what we've seen this morning? Any questions about goal setting, motivation, hypnosis in general? I'll take any questions. No? Yes?
How different is this from neuro-linguistic programming?
How different is it from neuro-linguistic programming? Neuro-linguistic programming does not use a trance-like state. NLP, as it's commonly called, is really just like what it sounds. It's neuro, brain, linguistic, words, programming. So using your words to program your mind. So again, neuro-linguistic programming would be setting up certain frames. So when I had my surgery, my doctor was very good. He never asked me what my pain level was. He always asked me how comfortable I was. So it's things like that. It's just programming the mind with words. I'm using a trance-like state. I find it quicker, more efficient than using NLP. NLP uses a lot of complicated word structures and word salad, they actually do call it. Hypnosis, people go into hypnosis all the time. I just prefer this. I've studied and I'm certified in NLP, but I don't use it. I like hypnosis much better, but they're like kissing cousins. They're so close to each other. Yes?
In the example of taking something that people have learned and understood for a long time, whether it's the number 3 years, how to open a bottle unconsciously, does that mean you can literally take either on the opposite side, experiences that you don't have, and be able to just add them, almost like you've subtracted them from them, no matter what your life experiences are, to be able to just mentally or subconsciously add, like I am a seasoned financial advisor, even though maybe it's your first year, and respond that way?
Yes, so can you create the pictures in your mind of something you haven't experienced to program your subconscious mind to create that?
Like you've subtracted from...
Right. I took something away, but can you add something is the question. And studies have been done. You have to at least have a framework. You have to have a reference. You know, I couldn't give you a concept that was completely foreign and have you create that image in your mind. But if you can create that image in your mind, then you can program your mind for it. So you need to at least have a point of reference. Case in point, there was a famous study done with basketball players. They took groups, split them into two. One group was allowed to shoot free throws all day. They could just go and practice, practice, practice. One group, not allowed on the court. They had to just sit there and just imagine hitting free throws. The incredible thing they found was the people who never touched a basketball and only visualized were just as successful at increasing the rate of hitting those free throws as the people who stood on a basketball court. So that's a long way of saying, yes, you can absolutely program your mind to achieve something as long as you can create that image in your mind first. If you've had no experience with it, that's okay. As long as you know what success looks like, you can program your mind to achieve that vision of success. Good? Any other questions?
I have a follow-up question.
Oh, follow-up question.
So how do you replace, first, how do you identify that you have something that is blocking you? And two, how do you replace that? Because sometimes you may have behavioral patterns
Right.
that may stop you from that one vision of being that, because sometimes you're not going to believe that because you already have that pattern. So how do you identify that you have that something blocking, and two, how do you replace that?
Some of it is just mind. So how do you identify that you have a problem, and then how do you reprogram your subconscious mind to replace that problem with positive outcomes? And a lot of it is just being mindful. If you don't realize, if you don't see that pattern in yourself, we're talking business. If you're sitting down with your manager, at some point they're going to ask you questions that will elicit answers like, well, I just don't think I can do that, or I'm too new, I can't go after a multi-million-dollar client. And let me tell you, those are the ones you want to go after because they've got the money. You want to help the moms and pops, but they're actually a harder sell than the guys with lots of money. But we create these mental blocks of, I haven't been in the business long enough to deserve to talk to those people. So that'll come out through talking to your managers. In your personal life, you just have to realize that if you've set a goal for yourself and you can't reach it, Sit down and ask yourself why. What is stopping me from reaching it? And you'll have the answers. The answers are inside you. And that's what hypnosis as hypnotherapy is. When I had a hypnotherapy practice, I didn't give people answers. I'd put them into hypnosis, ask them questions, and let them answer the questions themselves. So you know what mental blocks you have. You know what self-limiting beliefs you have. It's just sometimes you aren't aware of them until you run up against them. But once you know what it is, if you can visualize what the other side of that block looks like, you can begin to reprogram your mind. Habits, basic habits take 21 days, and that's all these are. Self-limiting beliefs are habits. You've stopped yourself short of going beyond before. So just 21 to 30 days, reprogramming your subconscious mind to believe you can do that. But it's going to take some mindfulness on your part, or at least a conversation with somebody to point it out to you. But once you're aware, that opens the floodgates to just making that change. Okay? Okay, yes?
So I have a friend who's a hypnotherapist like you, and she said that the best time to do this self-hypnotizing, visualizing, is when we are slightly tired, like the combat tired.
Yes.
So if that's true, then we shouldn't do this while driving or...
Absolutely, yes. So if you decided to record your goals and listen to your goals over and over, that's no different than a commercial playing in the background. You can listen to those in your car safely. It's just your voice droning on and on. And like I said, you've pulled into your driveway, forgotten if you stopped at that stop sign or if the light was red or green. You go into these trance-like states all the time anyway. If we're talking about you wanted to listen to a hypnosis recording and go into hypnosis, absolutely do not do this while you're driving because this is the result and you don't want to be behind the wheel while you're doing this. But your friend is also correct. Best times to do this, if you really wanted to use visualization, program your subconscious mind, just before we go to sleep at night and just before we wake up in the morning, we go through what's called a hypnagogic state. It's really close to a hypnotic state. It's that moment when you're laying in bed and maybe you realized, I didn't take the clothes out of the dryer, but your eyes are closed, you're relaxed, you're laying there. Some people feel heavy when they're relaxing, some people feel like they're floating, but it's just that feeling that nothing matters. I don't care about anything except this state right now. That's the hypnagogic state. So if you can listen to a recording of your goals or visualize while you're drifting off to sleep, you are definitely in a subconscious state just before you go to sleep and just before you wake up in the morning. Again, when I worked at Xerox, I was the worst employee. I'd wake up in the morning and before my feet hit the floor, I'd say, man, I hate my job. I don't want to go in. And what do you think my day was like every single day? It was the worst day every day. It was like Groundhog's Day for me. It was just terrible every day. So program yourself with positivity when you get out of bed. Before your feet hit the floor, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to call my clients. I'm going to have 10 meetings this week or 20 meetings, whatever your goal is. You know, if you're just starting out, your goals are going to be smaller than others as you're finding your way. But every morning before you get out of bed, do not tell yourself what a terrible day it's going to be because that's exactly what's going to happen. Guarantee it. Yep. Yes?
Sorry, one more question. Well, how important it is to feel the emotion when you're visualizing because words do not teach?
Correct. Absolutely. And that is so important. I try to tell people to bring in as many of your senses as possible. So when we were doing the bucket, I said, see the water, hear the water, feel the bucket. So if you can connect on an emotional level, hypnosis is an emotional state. Your emotions lie in your subconscious state. That's what we're in right here with these guys. So if you can attach as many of your senses and your emotions to those visualizations, you're going to be far more successful, far quicker than if you just, again, the law of attraction, the problem I have with the law of attraction, if you're familiar with it, and if you love it, I'm sorry, people have differing views. As a hypnotist, my problem with the law of attraction is it stops with the visualization. There's no success without action. Put some emotion into those visualizations and then put some action behind it. You're going to hear me when I do the positive suggestions for these guys. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more, but yes, bring as much emotion in as you can. If you can attach happiness to being successful, people change for two reasons. We're moving away from pain or towards pleasure. So whatever your stronger motivator is, if you can feel yourself getting more and more painful, if you stay stuck in the situation you're in, that'll move you forward. I honestly think it's far more successful if you're positive and have a positive outlook. So if you can attach positive feelings and emotions to moving forward, you're going to be highly successful using visualization.
Thank you. I want a clarification only because I do believe in everything that you're saying, and emotion is a very important part of it. You will not manifest unless you're actually feeling it as already happening to you.
You're right.
If you don't have those emotions, then you're wasting your time visualizing, and if you're not feeling those emotions.
Correct.
Emotion is everything. It's the indicator of where you are.
You're absolutely right. And I also teach body language. And in the body language, I tell people that, again, if you're nervous going before a client, Spend a few minutes and visualize that this person is the most important person in the world. Because in that moment, when you sit down with them, they are the most important person in the world. They're going to give you their money and they want you to take care of them. So if you can attach the emotion of this is the most important person in the world, you will treat them as if they are the most important person in the world. The emotion is very important to this. Thank you for helping me clarify that. Anybody else? All right, you guys have put me behind schedule, but I think we had a good conversation here. I'm going to give them their positive suggestions and then we're going to move on. And this is a visualization technique that I think you guys could use too. Again, before you go to sleep at night, you're in a slightly lighter state of this, but this is the same kind of visualization. So all my volunteers, if there's any goal that you'd like to achieve in your life, any change that you'd like to make, now's the time to make it happen. As we saw, the subconscious part of the mind is a very playful part of the mind, but it's also the part of the mind where powerful change can happen. All you have to do is create a vision in your mind. Make this vision big, bold, and bright as possible. And blow it up the size of an IMAX screen, 8 stories tall, vivid. If there's any sound associated with this image, I want you to turn the volume up. This is an image of you having already been successful at achieving the goal that you'd like to achieve. I want you to notice every single detail about this image. Notice how proud you are of yourself for having made that change. Notice the smile on your face. Notice how good you feel having made this change. And now all you have to do is ask your subconscious mind to help you achieve this goal, and it'll go to work just like that reticular activating system I was talking about with the car. It will take every opportunity it can to help you achieve this goal. Just continue focusing and concentrating on this image. Now I want you to float closer and closer to this image. Again, you're imagining it's on an IMAX screen. I want you to move right up to the front of that screen. Notice every single detail, the smile on your face, your posture, everything that tells you that you were successful. Now I want you to float right into this image, and I want you to step into this image of your future self, almost as if you're trying on a new suit or a new dress. Notice how good it feels to have achieved this goal that you've wanted to achieve for so long. Notice how good it feels to make this change in your life that you've wanted to make for so long. Feel that pride. Feel how good it feels to try on this new you. And I want you to just continue focusing and concentrating on this image, feeling those good feelings associated with this image. I'm just going to talk to the audience for just another moment as you continue focusing and concentrating, asking your subconscious mind to make this image a reality. And I want to thank you guys. I'm rushing through this, but I do want to thank you for allowing me this time with you. My wife did pass out some forms beforehand, just some surveys. I'm really interested in which of the techniques really resonated with you, what your vision of success looks like, what your anticipated outcomes are. So if you don't mind spending just a couple minutes, like I said, there's a couple other questions on there about other services that I offer. You know, this is my moment where I kind of get to plug Kelly and Travis just a little bit, maybe have me back for some of the other presentations. So please just take a minute, fill out the form, and we'll collect them after the presentation. Everyone up on stage, in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 up to 5. When I get to 5, you're going to open your eyes, fully refreshed, awake, alive, and alert, feeling awesome, feeling as if you've had that 4-hour nap. Starting with the number 1, still completely relaxed and feeling wonderful. The number 2, beginning to orient to the room around you, becoming aware of the other sounds and the other people in the room. Number 3, taking a nice deep breath in, filling up your lungs with clean, fresh oxygen. The number 4, your eyes beneath the lids, feeling as if they've been bathed in a cool mountain spring, feeling so refreshed. And on the last number, you realize all of this applause is for you. On 5, eyes open, wide awake, fully refreshed, awake, alive, and alert. Let's hear it for these guys one more time. They were amazing. Crystal, thank you so much. You can go back to the audience. Thank you, Chow. Thank you. You can go back out. Mom, thank you so much. You can head out. Christine, thank you. I don't see your name tag. Marcia, nice to see you. Thank you. You can head back out. Guillermo, thank you. Misty, thank you so much. Veronique, very nice to meet you. Jeffrey, thank you all so much. Thank you again. My name is Jack Hirsch. Enjoy the rest of your conference.